Good speakers are going to remember things, but really genius students write things down. So demonstration speech, you're going to show us how to do something. On the screen, you're going to see a number of pictures, and I actually show this particular graphic in my in-person classes. I ask students to look at, tell me what they see, in the hopes that they'll hook up with things that interest them, and that can engender conversation. I have literally had almost every one of these as a demonstration speech. Um, Not yet the hoverboard, but we did have to go outside to watch some bicycle tricks so far. And we didn't see a breaking in of a car, but we did go to, which can be a legal skill too, right? But we did get to go into the parking lot where a guy had already had his lug nuts loosened and he showed us how to change a tire. All of these are opportunities. I did have that firefighter too, bring in all his canisters. Here's most of these are pictures. There's one in there with the potter that's not, but these pictures are actually from my classes here at Cumberland. The attention getter I talked about before with Joe Burney, fully clothed, beginning to take those things off, ended up with his whistle and his shorts there. And we actually do a lot of cooking or bringing in, showing how to cook food. So that's that center picture. Students can get other peers involved. So whether it's somebody that you're putting makeup on and being your model for that, or showing certain boys in the class how to dance, you can bring people into your demonstration speech if it works for you. Demonstration speech is going to have some materials. No matter what you're going to show us, there's often some realia. You can also use slides, but it's very effective to have that bowl and that spoon or that mixer or that lug nut wrench or something. Uh, there has been a study by the Occupational and Safety and Health Administration from 2008, and it was updated by the Wharton Research Center in 2013 to confirm that if you just have oral, you're just giving the words, blah, 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 your audience might remember about 10%. You've seen those science boards that you had to do those science fair projects or innovations or something, honors projects in college, by the way, and their backboards perhaps, or just a slideshow that runs. Visuals alone will allow your listeners or viewers to retain about a third of what you are presenting. However, if you can combine those materials, those visuals, and your voice, it just doubles almost the retention of information. So pay attention to that. Maybe you want to email everybody the recipe. Maybe you want to send a link to something. Maybe you want to just use the tools as you're showing us how to do things. It's up to you, but visuals and orals are strong. You have an outline due, and I suggest that if you would like some feedback, you get it in as soon as you can so that I can give feedback, may give feedback, and then you can improve your speech before you record it. The outline body is different for demo. You've got your intro, it's got layers of your credibility, your attention getters, maybe a story and a fact and a graphic or something, example for attention getter and credibility. And then you have the direct thesis. Today I'm going to show you how to, whatever you're going to show. That's followed by, in our class, a preview. Good, strong speakers say what the structure of the speech will be. That allows your viewers to process. Their brain sets up the organizational structure if you give that preview. Maybe you say, first I'll give you a little background and then I'll show you how. Perhaps you'll say, I'm going to go through the step-by-step process and I'll toss in some stories along the way. That's a preview of the structure of your body. And then indeed, you would make your body however that would be. The body of a demonstration speech must include a procedure, a step-by-step process. And you need to use planned transitional words because we're often guilty of saying then, and, so, if we rely back on our normal conversational discussions. So make sure you plan a few of those transitions using our transition sheet. If you need an extra copy, I can show you where that is. Let's see, citations. I did hear a number of speeches, and perhaps you watched a few too, where somebody says, the website says this. More authoritative would have been to say, as I heard one of you say, the official website for this particular organization states or shows. Those are wonderful ways to put things in that doesn't just sound like .com, .com, .org, but I want you to go beyond just web searches. If you make your work cited, it will have extra information in there, like the dates, if it's relevant, like the name of the organization, the name of the article, certainly the name of the person, if there's some writer or speaker that you're quoting. Maybe you watched a TED Talk video or a podcast that you enjoy that has to do with your topic. You can quote those people, and it's always neat to think, how are they an authority, and toss that in because that raises your ethos. Fine. Remember to write those citations down. You have to have a minimum of 5 and put them exactly where you plan to say them and how you plan to say it. And that's what's highlighted on that outline. Finally, at the bottom of the outline, you really do put a modern language association formatted work cited. Then we can help you with that. It is a basic college skill to know how to format your academic writing and your references. So check with the tutors there, would you? Come call me. When you're thinking, oh, I know how to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and just tell them, you need to, before you tape it, you need to sort of analyze that procedure. Because this is only a 4 to 6 minute speech, you need to figure out, okay, what are my materials? What comes first? I only have 4 to 6 minutes, so what's absolutely essential to put in here? And is there an easy step I could sort of maybe have on a little piece of a chart or a slide or something, but not make a big deal of elaborating? And do I really have to maybe take the hardest one and define that a little more clearly? Figure out what your audience already knows. And remember that not everybody was raised like you. They may not know. I had one student who did medical stuff. They may not know what CPR stands for. So you might need to toss in those words or phrases or quick explanations. Where are people going to get confused? And how much time does stuff take? So you plan that out, sort of analyze that. If you don't do it in some written form, that's fine, but think about it for your outline planning, mentally or written down. You'll be more effective. You might even decide, I'm going to blow off the time thing and I don't mind a few points off. I am going to exceed the time limit. So if that's the case, so be it. Are you going to use cue cards? Remember, it's okay to have those index cards that help you remember the sites you want to say, or maybe you do like I did. I would sometimes write down sent a couple of sentences I wanted to make sure I said precisely, and I draw eyeballs with long lashes so I remember now and look up. Do you want to? You don't have to memorize the whole thing, but you don't want to read it to us. If you're not a natural hand talker like Morphew, and I see a lot of good micro expressions from a lot of you, I see some good planned gestures, and I can tell when some people tend to use their hands a lot, and be aware of that. Are you going to do all of that? Rehearsal is the key to delivering an effective demo speech. kind of go through it a few times. I have a student who came in yesterday to do elevator pitches with my in-person class, and he said he literally would get in front of the mirror and practice his speeches.